Okay, welcome to the channel. Welcome to episode 2. Yeah, I've just been looking up a poem.
So where did you get this poem from?
Well, I just researched a poem because
Researched
we've
a
talked.
poem.
That's not
My
got
foot's annoying
that's got
you.
to not happen. That's got to not happen to my leg. No, there was something you said to me a while ago about something you read about choosing God every day, but multiple times a
Yes.
day, and that could culminate in thousands of times a day. Can you remember
Yes.
that?
No, I can't remember exactly what it was, but I can remember talking about it. Yes.
And the reason I don't know the reason it came into my head, but it's keeps coming back into my head because when I get overwhelmed or stressed or I'm struggling, I sort of stick with that struggle until suddenly I go, oh, I know,
Yes.
I need to pray, or I need to go back into connecting with Jesus, with God. And then instantly, I feel amazing.
Yes.
And it's like having that rucksack of bricks that we carry around all day, and remembering to take it off. And why we burden ourselves constantly annoys me, why we do that. But it's because I forget to connect constantly. It's not enough to just connect on a Sunday morning, and it's not enough to connect when you wake up or when you go to bed. You got to do it constantly.
Yes.
Anyway, so I found this poem called The Hound of Heaven by Francis Thompson, and it's quite interesting. I'll read it to you.
So how did you come by it?
Well, I just researched something along the topic. This is interesting because I was looking for something to do with choosing God or Jesus multiple times a day. But actually, this came in, and it's not about that, but it ends up being about God choosing us constantly.
That's lovely.
And that, yeah, it's amazing.
Yes.
I don't know if this is the whole poem because I think it's quite long, but I'll read a bit of it.
Read it all.
Well, I don't know if I have it all here, to be honest with you. I fled him down the nights and down the days. I fled him down the arches of the years. I fled him down the labyrinthine ways of my own mind, and in the mist of tears I hid from him, and under running laughter up visted hopes I sped, and shot precipitated adown titanic glooms of chasmed fears from those strong feet that followed after. But with unhurrying chase and unperturbed pace, deliberate speed, majestic instancy, they beat, and a voice beat, more instant than the feet. All things betray thee, who betrayest me. And, well, it says here, the poem continues with the speaker running from God through pleasure, ambition, fear, and human love, while God steadily pursues him. Oh, and I just think that's an amazing way to think about it. I have not thought about it like that ever until 5 minutes ago when I read it. Because,
Sorry to interrupt, but it's like a good parent with a child that's learning to walk or whatever and learning about life, a little toddler. The parent is behind there, ready to catch them when they fall, supporting them.
Yeah. Getting attacked. Yeah. It's really nice to know that, because before I was on this journey, what's nice to know now is that I was loved even before I knew I loved
Yes.
Jesus. And that's quite amazing. So it turns out that Francis Thompson was an opium addict and lived in poverty and struggled a lot. And he eventually came to Christ, but ran from it for a very long time. So yeah, it's quite. I'll find the rest of the poem eventually, but I thought that was a nice.
Makes me think of Dad and the sadness that he didn't reach that point with his addiction journey. But also listening to you reading that, it struck me that we live in an age where there's a lot of talk about manifesting your life, the perfect life, which now I feel it's. I've been thinking about this today actually, about the need to perpetually relinquish my will to God. Thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. That I can have, there are longings in my heart as to what maybe I'd like to achieve and experience in life. And alongside that, there is also, more importantly, his will. But and this is where I think reading and listening to scripture is really important, because then we get to know his will, because it's there. And without it, we lean, do not lean on your own understanding. And it comes back to what you said earlier about giving it, constantly giving it. And I've had quite a big decision to make recently, and the weeks, months of deliberation. Is it the right thing? Not sure. But I think I said to you, was it yesterday? I don't know if we were talking. But when I was hanging out the washing, and I was saying to God in my mind, did I do the right thing? And he said, well, how are you feeling? Are you feeling relaxed and good about it? I said, yes, I am. He said, well, you've made the right decision then. That's all you need to know. Does it bring you peace? But equally, it's not always the case, I think, with doing his will. It's not always going to bring us peace, because sometimes it's going to push us beyond our boundaries of our own belief about ourselves as to what we are able to achieve, which I think fits in nicely with what your journey is with training to be a doctor, and all of that, the belief that through your life that wasn't for you. There was never any expectation that would be something that you'd be able to do. But since coming to Christ, you've handed over, want to be of service. And which kind of leads me, I'll share a little bit of this. And I've literally, so this is Rick Warren's The Purpose-Driven Life, which I love. And I
Brilliant. Yes, this is one of the books that we read, well, Holly reads to me on WhatsApp when we're doing sharing our Bible readings as well. And this is a really good one, actually.
It's amazing, and we'll probably read lots of it, I think. But I opened it up today, and it opened at chapter 16, What Matters Most. So no matter what I say, what I believe, and what I do, I'm bankrupt without love. That's Corinthians. And then John, love means living the way God commanded us to live. As you have heard from the beginning, his command is this: live a life of love. Of love. So, shall I read a little bit of it? I won't read it all. But so life is all about love because God is love, and the most important lessons He wants you to learn on earth is how to love. It is in loving that we are most like Him. So love is the foundation of every command He has given. The whole law can be summed up in this one command: love others as you love yourself. That's a really interesting one, isn't it?
Well, I wanted to say it's brilliant. The since we've both been on this journey, I have really felt that I have become more comfortable in my own skin gradually, and that I'm also more comfortable loving and accepting love. And we didn't, well, when we were younger, we were, what's the word, mocked and ridiculed
Yes.
for lots of things, but also for being kind and loving. And so it's not that I became this twisted version of myself necessarily, but I definitely became someone who was shied away from showing that side of myself. And it's really listening to that, it's just, I'm so grateful now that I feel the courage through Jesus to be able to learn how to love in a deeper level. And I feel that it's just affecting every aspect of my life in a positive way, and bringing that peace that it talks about.
What are your thoughts about loving yourself? And what does it mean to you to love? I mean, I would say this is a whole conversation on its own, but to love yourself. Because in our lovely blackbird, in our culture, there's a lot around, self-love, to love yourself, to look after yourself, etc. To me, yes, it's really important, but it falls, I feel it falls short without Christ, because without the understanding that we are of God and that we are so much more than our physical form, that we continue, our consciousness continues, it can become a very self-centered. Whereas, interestingly, I said recently, a couple of weeks ago, I went to an amazing church service up in Kettering, and we were offered healing and anointed with the cross. And so I asked for healing for my, something that we both struggle with is, the, sounds awful to say it out loud, but self-loathing, that feeling of, in therapeutic terms, it's known as like toxic shame, etc. And since then, there's been a massive shift from not looking after myself, nutritionally, getting by on processed foods, way too much sugar, and I've, for the first time, because I connect with my body now, as it's been granted to me. I've been blessed by God to have this body and to have this experience, so that I can share His love more. So in order to share His love more, I need to be fit, healthy, running at my full potential, and that in turn is what I class as loving myself.
What was the line in that you read about loving others as you love yourself? Was that the line?
The whole law can be summed up in this one command: love others as you love yourself.
And I think that is the key point, because what you were talking about at the start of that question was about how modern society encourages us to put ourselves first, love and self-care and self-worth, but perhaps at the expense of others, or perhaps at the expense of lots of things, and that you matter first, and that you need to sort of look after yourself, but for yourself. But the difference is with this phrase is, yes, you do have to look after yourself, but it's not for yourself. It's so that you can love others the way that you are loving yourself. And if you're not loving yourself fully or wholesomely, then that is how you're going to present and love other people. And so we do ourselves a disservice with the self-loathing that we have inherited or learnt or whatever. That it's like I've got a friend who's a singer, and she got a compliment once. Someone said, "That was brilliant, well done, that was amazing." And I remember her saying, she said her reaction was, it was all right, it's all right. And the person giving the compliment said, "Stop now, because if you don't accept my compliment, you're saying that I'm wrong."
Yes.
And that's insulting to me.
Yes.
So that was quite an eye-opener for her. But it's also one of, if we're not nice about ourselves, how can you really fully be nice for other people?
Yes.
So that's the greatest service, is through learning how to love ourselves and be compassionate and forgiving to ourselves. Then we can do that for others. And that does begin, well, when we started this journey, was you're forgiven and you're loved, and you always have been, and you always will be. It's like, oh, that's new. That's a new idea that we haven't experienced in the home unconditionally. So yeah, it's brilliant.
And what you said really struck me, in that we can only love as much as at the level that we are aware of love, the depth of love. And so, thinking of Father, he really struggled, and he had a lot of self-loathing and problems, and he could only love to that level. There was no more that he could do. So for our children, for everybody else, but also the importance of prayer in this, the continual bringing us round to what you were talking about at the start, with continual prayer, is, please Almighty God, I ask for healing. And I say this a lot now: please heal my heart, my mind, my body, my soul, that I may be made whole in you, that I may be able to serve and serve you on earth in any way you ask me to. And that's a whole, for me, that's a whole different thing. That it's not on me to, yes, there are techniques and things to learn, psychology, etc., which are all helpful, and going to therapy, and that's all really helpful. But the ultimate healing comes from Christ and accepting Christ.
It does. And for the audience, if anyone watches this, our father was a hardcore addict, and definitely did not love himself. And so a lot of difficulty with us knowing love from him. But going back to what I said in the video before was how I came to Christ was because he was an addict and he was in a lot of pain, but he did love to, and he was not into this,
No, no.
but
not
he
at all.
did used to ask us to take him to church on Christmas morning.
Yes.
He loved that.
Yes.
And so when he died, we found ourselves at church on Christmas morning, and I was there looking for him and found Jesus instead, but that's okay. And so I like to think that Dad played a part in my journey anyway, coming here. And going back to church regularly now is allows me, reminds me, because I get to light a candle for people and pray for them, that I get to do that, and that heals me, and hopefully retrospectively or some way him as well.
Yes.
And that's something that we've talked about is praying for healing for our past selves as well, which blows my mind as well. But it's I feel different, I know that, and I feel better as well in the last couple of years. We were driving through the town earlier, and I was like, oh, look at all these people at the pub enjoying
Yes.
their lives and whatnot, and I was like, oh, they're having a great time. And Ellie, my wife Ellie, was like, are they having a great time? I was like, yeah, it's brilliant, it's brilliant. She's like, is it brilliant in the morning? No. Is it brilliant, like, it really is that fleeting moment worth the payment of pain, which isn't just physical, it's layered and profound, and masks my ability to love myself, connect with Jesus, connect with others. And so absolutely not, it's not worth it. And the peace that I have already got from this journey is, like it said in there, without that, I'm bankrupt.
Yes.
And,
Yes.
and that's what has also afforded me, is to be able to let go of all the other insignificant things that I was holding on to that I thought were really important and now aren't. And that's a relief as well.
Yeah, so we're both, neither of us drink alcohol at all. For me, a lot of it was born of my son showing me videos about how toxic alcohol is to the body. I mean, it's just a poison. But also,
We do drink alcohol.
oh yes, Holy Communion. But it went through my head, actually, it was today. Alcohol, I find, is absolutely terrifying. I find it terrifying because of what I witnessed with Dad and what it did to him. And he was a poly addict, basically anything. And when our mother met him, he was on methadone, having been addicted to heroin, living on the streets. So she did really well picking him. Anyway.
But also, she also did really well to support him into not doing that.
Yes.
But kind of a losing battle, because
Yes.
he lost his battle
He did.
with addiction.
He did.
Anyway.
He did. And just how in our society alcohol is accepted and is thought to be okay and does so much damage, but that's another topic. But for me, like you, I feel a deep sense of peace, which is the peace that surpasseth all understanding, which is just lovely. In moments like this, sitting out in your garden, which is beautiful, being at home, making homemade food, pottering about in the garden, for me, what I crave more and more is quiet and connection with nature and people and animals, and to connect on a deep heart level. But anyway, shall we wrap it up for today?
Yeah.
Shall we do Lord's Prayer? Okay. Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, the power, and the glory, forever and ever. Amen. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.